Hey everyone, it's Bryan Feller here, giving you a trip report for Olancha Peak. Let's jump right into it. Olancha Peak, as many of you might know, is clearly visible from 395, right outside of the town of Olancha. It's about 12,132 feet, and it is an SPS peak. So if you have not done Olancha Peak, but you want to do Olancha Peak, then I'm going to walk you through our trip report, and it might be helpful. You start out from the pass, Olancha Peak Trailhead, and the trail gains about 3,000 feet in the first 4 miles. It's pretty well engineered. In fact, it's quite a nice trail. Takes you to Olancha Pass, and then the trail levels off almost flat for about 2 miles. And then you start climbing up again. Once you kind of depart the PCT south, you end up gaining about another 2,000 feet over 6 miles. And towards the end of that, you really start to, if it's early in the season, you're really going to start to hit snowdrifts. And just depending on when you do it, we did it on May 26th. It was 2024. And there was a handful of snowdrifts. We didn't need spikes or crampons or anything like that. We brought some. But if you go earlier in the season, maybe it's a high snow year, then the real problem with this hike is you're going to hit a lot of snow in that last mile, and you're going to be post-holing, and it might be kind of miserable. But if you're going in if you look at the satellite reports and you're pretty sure that it's relatively clear, then you're good. The last about quarter mile gains about 1,500 feet, give or take. It's about a 50-degree slope of large, solid talus. It's solid, so it's solid class 2. You could slip and twist your ankle, but you're not going to fall off the mountain. If you've never been off trail before, it's going to be a little bit scary. If you have been off trail before, this is kind of like standard Sierras, so it's not that big a deal. Nothing to be scared of. The hardest part of the hike is this last piece of the elevation gain, scrambling. Wes and I got to about 12,000 feet. We haven't been in altitude for a while, so we started feeling it. And, it's a little tiring. It might take you a while. You just need to gauge your, by the time you've hiked 10 miles in, you might actually be a little bit tired and not really want to climb that, vertical last bit of 1,500 feet. Some final thoughts. Wes and I got to the trailhead. We're going to sleep at the trailhead, but then the winds kicked up to about 40 miles an hour, and we drove all over trying to find a place that was out of the wind. We didn't find any place out of the wind, and we ended up not getting much sleep that night. And it was debatable whether we wanted to do this in the morning, but after a cup of coffee, we did it. You may want to explore whether or not you want to do this as an overnight hike or a day hike. It's kind of right in that in-between place. It's 21 miles and about a little over 6,500 feet of elevation gain. So if that's okay for you, if you're good doing that, which Wes and I are, then by all means, do it as a day hike. It's not exactly the super exciting peak that you might venture into the Great Western Divide or the deeper areas of the Sierras. It's kind of a roadside peak. So I didn't really want to spend an extra day overnighting. But if you haven't done it before and this is kind of outside your comfort zone, then overnight there's plenty of water, plenty of places to camp. It's right along the Pacific Crest Trail, so lots of people. Not a ton of people, but enough to where you've got help if you need some assistance. And that's the trip report. Overall, it was a great fitness hike for Wes and I, and I think we're going to get ready for the bigger mountains later on in the season. I'm Bryan Feller, and I'll see you out there on the trail. In the summit right now. We're only 10 minutes behind him.
I could definitely maintain our speed. Stop.
Yeah, I mean, we're as good as there, man.